Yes,
Hey,
sir.
I'm Kermit Heaton. I spent over 40 years in the telecommunications industry and the last 10 as a simple rancher. So I want to talk about the fact that with all this information that I have heard here and have read, that there's a danger of getting into a position I call analysis paralysis. There's a mountain of data, and we've got to figure out what's pertinent and what's not. And one of the things I've found is if I go back to some simple principles. Okay, one simple principle that I think is important here is I agree with Ronald Reagan in that government is not the solution. Government is the problem. Okay, and that's, in this particular case, not always the solution. Another basic principle is that the freedoms and rights of Texas is what's made Texas great. The individuals in Texas, not the bureaucracies, not the groundwater conservation districts, not the government bureaucracies for sure. And Texas is and the United States is a republic, and we must prevent getting in the situation where we have 3 wolves and 1 sheep voting on what's for dinner. Because I guarantee that we and our progeny will eventually be that 1 sheep if we don't get things set up right. The other thing I want to talk about is how do we keep these government agencies or government, pseudo-government entities from exceeding their power? As an example, from what I've read, San Antonio Water System did that with their Vista Ridge. And the LCRA did that when they started into the groundwater development business instead of taking care of the lower Colorado River and its tributaries. Excuse me. One thing you can do is require transparency. Now, if you look at what the legislature's Sunset Commission said, the LCRA was not transparent. So what is transparency? Not transparent. That means they're hiding something. And that hurts not only them, but all government or quasi-government agencies. And I ask for your support to help the people. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next.
Chairman Perry, Chairman Birdwell, committee members, my name is Andrew Wier. I'm a landowner from Bastrop County. My experience regarding the future water supply is from the perspective of the source community. I'm only one of thousands upon thousands of rural citizens with a domestic water well because no water utility has distribution in our area. My 700-foot well draws water from the Simsboro formation of the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer. I participate in the Lost Pines Groundwater Conservation District meetings, in the Post Oak Savannah Groundwater Conservation District meetings, and in the Groundwater Management Area Number 12 meetings. I'm currently one of 58 landowners contesting a permit by the LCRA in the Lost Pines Groundwater Conservation District. I'm also a board member of the nonprofit Simsboro Aquifer Water Defense Fund, or SAWDF, because their mission aligns with my strongly held religious belief of protecting and sustaining God's creation. From 2004 to 2011, rainwater collection systems served my family's needs. However, since the drought of record, rains have not been consistent enough to use the rainwater collection system year-round. So we dipped into our savings to drill a well. That well is now under threat, and that's why we're in the contested case. Hydrologists on both sides of the case have testified that the water levels in our well will drop below the pump. It may drop far enough to where the well will no longer produce potable water. This will cost us anywhere from $12,000 to $50,000 without mitigation. So members, I'm sharing this story with you because this is a microcosm of the statewide reality that you're facing. And you've heard much of that discussion today, and I know you know it very well, Senator Perry. So I want to make two recommendations. The first is implement the state water plan. Maybe the word is enforce. Whatever it is, the venture groups are able to undermine all the planning that's gone into the state water plan. You heard today we spent $15 million, Texas Water Development Board money, as well as tens of thousands of citizens' hours in developing that regional plan. So I quote to you from Region G Water Plan from 2016. Burleson County, so for example, in Burleson County, all the remaining modeled available groundwater from the Carrizo-Wilcox is slated to be transported out of the Brazos G region to use in the Region K and L through a contract with SAWS. Don't let the state water plan be undermined by venture capitalists. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.